Namaskar. Prayers for your and your family members' safety. Hope you're all very fine. In this video lesson, we are going to start with chapter number 8 of class 10 social science book. The name of the chapter is Natural Resources. In the first part of the video, we are going to cover the following topics. What is a resource? What are natural resources? How can we plan and conserve resources? Classification of resources. This is our earth, our beautiful earth, a wonderful creation of nature. We spend our life on this magical planet. We owe so much to it. Mother Earth gives us so much to make our life comfortable. It has all the gifts to satisfy our needs. Yes, we humans are a big bundle of needs. Needs. We are never satisfied. We always want more and more. Our needs at times become greed also. From time we wake up till the time we sleep, and from the time we sleep till we wake up the next morning, we have many needs. From the time we are born till the time of our death, we have needs. We need sunlight, wind, water, rains, ground, fuel, minerals, electricity, food, fruits, vegetables, vehicles, mobile phones, playgrounds, family, friend, books. Needs. Do you think we can survive if our needs are not satisfied? Have you ever thought who or what helps satisfy our needs? Well, ultimately, it is Mother Nature. All those things that we human beings use for our benefits, our needs, are called resources. And if Mother Nature provides them, then they are known as natural resources. To put it in a different way, anything that has utility is called a resource. We use resources for our various needs. The various resources that we use are land, trees, plants, forests, animals, birds, minerals, petroleums, sea, ocean, rivers, rain, and the list is very long. If we have to classify the resources can be classified in various ways. Resources can be classified based on ownership, based on the distribution area, based on availability, and then there are various classifications. Let us see how resources can be classified on the basis of ownership. There are individual resources, national resources, and global resources. If we classify the resources based on the distribution area, resources can be classified as universal, generally available, rare, solitary. And if we classify the resources based on the availability, then resources are either renewable or non-renewable. Since we use so many resources and our wants are unlimited, and the fact that resources are limited, there is a need to plan how to use the resources. If we do not plan, then resources will be exhausted and we will have problems. Some resources are on the verge of getting used up. Some resources are getting polluted. So we need to seriously think of planning our use of resources. We need to seriously think about conservation. We need to think about the needs of our future generations. What are we going to leave for them? We need to change our ways of using resources. We need to alter our ways of using the resources. If we don't plan the use of resources, our progress will be hampered and humans may have to suffer a lot. So, what should we do for conservation?
The word conservation is directly related to the scarcity of resources. If the resources are exploited at the rate at which we are exploiting, haphazardly, irrationally, then one day we will not have resources. Our dream to maintain the development and the current lifestyle will go. So, therefore, conservation includes things like rational usage, conservation, and even reusage. When there is a danger of existence on the life of a tree or a human life, the arrangement made for it is called conservation. So let us understand about the planning and the conservation of resources in detail. What things should be done for conservation? Let us read. First of all, gather information about the availability of utilized, unutilized, and probable resources of any region or a country as a unit. Second, the resources which are limited or non renewable should be exploited scientifically and should be used only when it is necessary to use them. Number 3, attempts should be made to develop those resources, the quantity of which can be increased. Next, the resources which are cheaper and are easily available should not be wasted, but instead they should be used sparingly for future use. Next, those resources which are in limited quantity should be conserved. Finding its alternative option through technical development is favorable in long term. Necessary laws should be framed for the conservation of resources and should be enforced strictly. Citizens should be well acquainted with all facts associated with the rational use of resources and a public awareness should be cultivated. So, we have seen that conservation is very important. If we don't conserve our resources, then in near future some resources will be exhausted and the lifestyle that we are living today may not be possible. So, keeping in mind the needs of the future generation, we need to save resources, we need to conserve resources. We also need a scientific approach towards using the resources. We need to judiciously use the resources so that we can take the maximum output from the resources. We need to develop such technology that uses the resources in a minimal way and give maximum output. If citizens are not following the instructions, if they don't understand the gravity of situations, then certain laws are also to be made, and laws are made. Those laws are used to stop the citizens from wasting the resources. Awareness programs are planned and implemented. So we understand this way that conservation is very important for our generation and even for the future generation. And we need to be really serious about conservation. So in this chapter, what did we learn? This chapter is about resources. And we understood what are resources. Anything that is helpful to human being can be called a resource. Like for example, land. Land is a natural resource. It's a resource given by nature. So natural resource. And it is a resource because we use land in many ways. Farmers use for cultivation. Industrialists use to make industries on it. And we make our houses on the land. So land has multiple usages, and therefore land is known as a resource. So we understood what is a resource. Then we understood the classification of resources. Resources can be classified under various heads. We understood that based on ownership, we have three types of resources. Then on the basis of distribution area, we have four types of resources. Which are those types? Do you remember? Then we also saw the two classes, that is renewable and non-renewable. Are you able to recall the classification? I want you to note down these points in your notebook, defining what is a resource, what is a natural resource. I want you to classify the resources based on various types of classification, and then read the chapter further. In our next video session, we are going to find out how soil is a resource and how soil is formed. What are the various types of soil that we find in our country, India? Then, what are the ways in which we can conserve soil? What is our role in saving the soil? So that was all for this video lesson. Read this chapter, make notes as I asked you to make notes, and get ready for the next video session. Till then, bye. May God bless you and peace be with you. Thank you.